master's in machine learning from Northeastern University, and since the last 1.5 years I'm working with the Regame lab to predict glucose levels using machine learning.
Hi everyone, my name is Sundararaman. I'm a fifth year PhD student in the Human Movement and Rehabilitation Sciences program at Bowie College of Health Sciences. My project here is building a decision support tool for type 1 diabetes that's powered by AL, and we're trying to gamify it to help them transition into the new lifestyle of diabetes people.
Hi, my name is Hari. I'm a recent graduate with a master's in software engineering from Northeastern. Currently I work as a research assistant with Regame XR lab. I primarily build software ranging from experiments for autism research to mobile applications for diabetes tracking.
Apart from my primary thesis project, which revolves around autism research, we are building a brand new piece of technology to help people diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It is a gamified ML-powered decision support tool to help people diagnosed with type 1 diabetes to transition into their new lifestyle and help them build this habit of healthy things that they wanted to do to stay healthy, fit, and avoid fluctuations in glucose levels.
I've been working on the software aspect of this project. Initially we started off as an iOS application and we tried out many wearables and glucose monitors. But we came to a decision that it might be more useful if it's a cross-platform, and that's why we chose React Native and we started building this application. I've been integrating data from a wearable as well as a glucose monitor, and also building the cloud infrastructure for it.
My work revolves more around the machine learning part of the model. So my task is to ingest data from different sources like sleep data, calories data, the physical activity data from all the users, and then try to make a machine learning model which can predict glucose levels in 30 minutes and 60 minutes advance and send timely notifications and alerts to the users so that they can help navigate their type 1 diabetic lifestyle better.
In addition to what my colleagues were discussing about their roles, they're building fantastic pieces of technologies to monitor different physiological measures like glucose and other aspects of your body. And what I felt was missing was putting all of them together in a single application and sort of help them build the newer habits and adapt to the newer lifestyle. That transition is generally hard because you need to start counting your calories, you need to make sure you get enough exercises, you need to make sure you get good sleep and make sure you don't lapse into any of the extreme values of glucose levels. So one of the ways that we thought would be useful in building this behavior was gamification, because when I used to play Duolingo, which is like a fun app for learning languages, it always prompts me in missing out on streaks and getting reinforcements for just playing for 5 minutes every day to get that habit of getting into the app and learning the language. I thought that game factor really helps in promoting habit building, and we wanted to use that in the applications. So in addition to what Hari was telling in terms of app development and getting all the physiological measures, and with Kavya's machine learning input, we wanted to put that into a game that's driven by these factors and sort of help them know about their body status in a fun way, and also doesn't feel like we're just throwing a bunch of data at them like charts and graphs that is sometimes difficult to interpret. And when it comes to a sort of game where you take care of a virtual pet that's similar to your body status, you have this whole sense of taking care of someone, which in turn means taking care of yourself and keeping your body healthy. In terms of the problem that we're trying to solve here is, once people get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, their entire lifestyle changes overnight. From being a normal person who's eating ice creams and chocolates and everything and being a couch potato and not really working out, to someone who has to be fit enough in terms of maintaining their glucose levels, because their insulin levels are different and they have an additional responsibility of maintaining their glucose levels. The transition from the normal lifestyle to the so-called normal lifestyle after you get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes is always difficult. We have fantastic technologies out there that tells data about our body, like wearables and continuous glucose monitors. But then like these are all like different pieces of tech, and sometimes it's really overwhelming for people to like interpret these data when you yourself are going through a lot of issues. So what we wanted to like check was, is there a way we can simplify this and make it in a more fun and educative manner where they learn about their own body status, at the same time they don't feel overwhelmed with the data that's coming in. And the solution that popped up was a fun gamified version of a decision support tool, which is in principle a technical application, but then for the user experience it's more like a game where they tend to like engage themselves in the application, at the same time get to know about their body status to help them maintain their own healthiness.
From the machine learning point of view, the problem that I was trying to solve is to make sure that our predictions are as accurate as possible, because the accurate the predictions are, the notification that will be sent to the iOS device would be much better, and that will again intact reflect to the in-game decisions that the person will take. So trying to work on different type of models, making sure that the predictions are as accurate as possible is the problem that I was trying to solve.
From the software engineering aspect, there were things which were challenging in terms of live data collection, because the machine has to continuously get the data and predict it. So collecting data in real time, storing it into the database, pushing it into the model is the challenges that we are trying to solve.
Being in the field of health sciences for a while, I've always seen like fantastic technologies that measure your body parameters so precisely. But when it comes to like type 1 diabetes, it's not just your glucose levels, it's your carb intake, it's your exercise level, it's your fitness, it's your sleep, and there's so many parameters that you need to take care of. And for me, having different sensors for these is a good thing. But then like this might be overwhelming for the user. So in terms of like reduction in number of sensors that we use to like measure these parameters was easy enough. So we went on for glucose. We had the continuous glucose monitor that gives us the continuous glucose values throughout the day. And then we were looking out for a good variable that takes in all these information like sleep, and then like your heart rate, and then your calories burned, exercise levels, walks, and everything. So we had reduce the number of sensors to 2, which is just CGM and a variable. But then again, like these two provide overwhelming amounts of data to the user for them to like take care of themselves. Sometimes you lose interest when you give too much of data because you're not interested in analyzing or interpreting what the data means. Then the whole concept of making this into a game really helped. And my analogy with Duolingo, I just felt like I got hooked onto that app just because it was offering me like streaks and some game factors, like getting gems and collecting lives, and if you don't do it today, like you might lose your streak, which actually means nothing, but then psychologically it was meaning something to me in terms of like maintaining that streak. So that factor of game element integrated with all these data was the aha moment for me, where I thought this will be something really useful for the users, and I envisioned them to be using this in an engaging fashion.
The aha moment for me in this project was in the beginning when I was working and trying to use all the data to train the models. The performance was not really good. I tried a lot of different things, but it didn't really work out. And then with the help of some guidance from the Northeastern professors and some research papers, I was able to come up with a new approach in which the idea was to treat every person as a part of a different cluster on basis of their carb intake, their physical activity, their fitness level, and then train individual machine learning models for each one of them. So that was the aha moment, and post that the accuracy of our model significantly increased, and the results of that were really good as well.
For me, the main attractive and interesting point in this was when someone is diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, they're given medications which need to be taken at particular intervals of time without considering their real-time glucose and things like that. But with this tool, we were able to predict at what time they should take it to maintain their glucose within a particular range. So they'll be much happier and healthier lifestyle. And the second aspect was integrating data from multiple sensors and seeing the data synchronizing across sensors on the back end was the aha moment for me.
benefits of being involved in such a project in which I have to work from scratch on everything, building the basic of the infrastructure and making sure that the production level is also really good are very high. It gave me a chance to apply all my theoretical knowledge and use that on a hands-on experience to build this project. I learned a lot of things during my time here at Northeastern, and working side by side on this project really helped me to realize how the theoretical knowledge is applied in this practical world where we have to design these applications.
I was trained as a biomedical engineer where I was learning a lot about like sensors theoretically, and then like this was a chance for me to like apply those knowledge in a real world application. Given that my primary research interest is autism, and then like I took up this as my additional project in my repertoire, I was given the chance to learn about like different sensors and the intricacies of it and how I can use those data to like simplify some of the physiological measures. So in terms of like my educational learning, it was rekindling some of the learnings and the theoretical knowledge that I had from the past, and also to add on, I was updating myself and upgrading myself with the new things that is in trend right now, which I was not aware of unless I had taken this project. In terms of like professional learning, I feel like due to this project, I got a chance to talk with a lot of like startup owners, game studios, and investors, and some scientists who are experts in different fields to get their piece of knowledge and advice on what this project is and how we could improve this. So professionally, I was able to network with a lot of people, and thanks to CRI that I'm considering entrepreneurship as one of my career options right now.
To me, in a classroom, the requirements are fixed. Like we get assignments or projects where we know beforehand how it's going to turn out and the set of outcomes. But in real world, it's not like that. It's highly evolving, and especially when we are building a new product, there are new ideas coming up. We are brainstorming, and it's a highly evolving and a very fast-paced development is required. And the requirements are not fixed. We need to ask the right questions to get the product, to get the work done. So this is giving me a real-life experience of how to deal with fast-paced software development.
The advantage of doing this project in Northeastern is I feel the expertise, professors help that I can get across colleges, because my advisor is an expertise in one particular area of domain, and she was wondering like how we can make this project from what was on paper to a reality that is today. And the way we got it worked was we leaned on help, and we had the chance to like leverage the knowledge from different professors across college, and it just happened with a little bit of ease there. So we were able to like reach out to different people and different folks across colleges, and they were happy to collaborate on this project. On record, we have almost one professor from each college on campus who's working on this project and who's helping us with their own area of expertise and bringing in the kind of information and the experience that we want for this project. This, I feel, is just happening because it's Northeastern, because of the collaborative nature that people are, and they are more interdisciplinary in their approach, and people are willing to help. We started this project almost a year and a half back, where this was just an email conversation between my advisor and myself. We thought, hey, why don't we do something for the type 1D population who was struggling to adapt to the new lifestyle? And the quick solution of the email conversation was like, why don't we build an app that helps them build this behavior in a more fun and engaging way. So that was like the root idea that we had here. And then like slowly over the months we developed on like the sensor aspect of it, and should we have machine learning to like predict the trends of glucose, and how can we have some gamified element into this that helps them to engage in this application more and sort of like help themselves build this habit for them without feeling that this is a burden for themselves. So towards like 10 months down the lane from when we had the seed of this idea, we had something written out and laid out properly, but then we weren't sure if that was like the right approach, and we needed some guidance. Again, we are not a diabetes lab in history, so we needed some guidance in the tech that we were using and also in the problem that we were trying to solve. So that's when we heard about like the Spark funding that CRI was offering, which is more for the prototype building, and we felt like this would be a right fit. So based on the open call, we reached out to a few folks from CRI and the other faculty advisors who were able to like help us and guide us in the proposal, and then like we submitted an application, and like beginning this year we were awarded the Spark funds. The way the funds have been helping us is, one, financially we've been able to like get hardware and spend the money in the way the project needs, in terms of like going to conferences, which we went one in Italy, like my advisor and myself, we just went to this conference, and it was possible because of the Spark funds. We got a few wearable sensors and CGMs that we want to work on this project. Other than the financial aspects of the Spark fund, just being a Spark Fund awardee gives us a lot of like visibility and authenticity to our idea. So by branding ourselves as a Spark Fund awardee, we were able to reach out to a much bigger population to leverage some people's expertise and bring them on board to work on this project as a collaborative measure, and also like bring in some sort of like interdisciplinary approach. So the Spark Fund has been like tremendous and phenomenal in flipping our project aside, and now we're thinking of like doing the NSF I-Corps program, which requires a few people on board in terms of like the commercialization, the entrepreneurship, and also like the technical lead, which we never dreamt of doing last year. And just because we are a Spark Fund awardee, we were able to like bring people on board and submit an application for this program, which would be really useful for the commercialization aspect of our application.